everyone, and welcome to Yes Please, the show that delves a little bit deeper in between episodes of Check Please. Tonight I am joined with Beardy over here.
Hello.
And
It's
Shane
me.
down below. And I am Keni, who plays Louie Freeman. Shane also plays Xander. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you kind of stepped all over that intro for us. It's okay. It's all right. We're all here. We're all friends.
Mostly.
What happened? Where are we at? What's the timeline?
So the timeline is a little after the end of episode 48 and a little near the beginning of episode 49. Kind of little in the middle-ish area. So I guess kind of near the beginning of 49.
Gotcha.
Technically.
So what you're saying is it's the late night or early morning of May the 5th through May the 6th of the year 808.
Yeah, that works out perfect.
Cool. Well, all right. I know right when that is.
It's good.
Yeah. So, where y'all at? Where are we doing?
I leave the floor open to Shane for what Xander is doing currently.
So I'm going to zoom the time forward. So it is the late night of May 5th, 808. Where's Xander at?
Xander is in the middle of his room here in the Pentris Bathworks, lying on the ground, this time not in a circle of his own blood, but sort of in a way. He is lying in the middle of a circle that is made out of these beautiful, tiny, expertly folded paper butterflies, staring up at the ceiling at these lovely paper flowers that have been draped there by somebody. Except for in this one spot, it looks pretty ugly.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess somebody fucked it up. It's fine. It's cool. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, he just has his hands folded over his chest, and he's just staring up at the flowers with the butterflies and one moth around him. The moth is actually on his chest right above his hands.
Its antenna are wiggling.
Pretty which moth? Okay. All right.
Xander
for the people
rubs it
who
gently.
don't watch the video portion, Beardy's just wiggling his fingers around to emphasize moth antenna.
Yeah, the moth is wiggling its antenna and just generally sitting there.
Xander lifts it up and gives it a little kiss and then puts it back down and smiles to himself. And that's all he's doing at the moment, just reflecting on the nature of the many prophecies we have been given in this 124-hour period and the absolute horrors that we are going to be experiencing real soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah. Yep.
It is true.
Who doggy?
What is Louie up to?
Zooming over onto the balcony area, closest to Louie's room, not the one closest to Xander's room. Louie currently is on the fencing of the balcony, the
railing,
guardrails. Yeah. He's currently barefoot, just wearing his stirrup pants and currently wearing his newly tailored, I'll say tailored, shirt that was once from Xander. And he is currently in a very specific stance where he has his feet out, using them more so for balance, being without shoes on. And he's sort of imitating a ballroom dance as he works his way along the line of this railing.
Would you mind rolling me
Yes,
a check?
absolutely.
It's one of the acrobatics nature, or if you have performed dance, you can roll that instead.
I do not, so we'll do acrobatics.
Okay.
That is a 26.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Louie, you shimmy and shake and step and turn and plant your feet and turn and step and step and step. And you're going all along the railing. And you're about maybe 15 feet off the actual surface of the ground beneath you. So if you were to fall, it would, be rather painful and could potentially hurt you. But you have some really good practiced movements here, and you're doing just fine as you move back and forth along this railing. I think I see what the problem is.
I got stuck. I got stuck on the world.
There, I've removed the invisible wall for you. You can move around now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He just wants to dance on the edge. And I think he's probably humming the tune that he's kind of been trying to compose the last couple of months, really, of traveling with this group. Just a guy doing a little dance. Try not to think about how he feels completely wrong. The normal stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want a little dance? Make a little love?
Get
Getting
down
down tonight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we're all after. Alternatively...
Xander.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was making more bad music references, so please continue.
I see.
Please.
Xander is going to open the door to his room, and I'm going to make a perception check to see if he hears this humming. Dun, 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 dun. What's a 23?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can hear
So-
the sound of... I mean, it's pretty quiet at night anyway. You hear some insects, because, it's springtime. So you can hear, night insects chirping and various things like that. But you can very clearly hear the sound of shoes striking a metal railing.
Not shoes. He's
Oh, sorry.
barefoot.
Feet. Apologies. Bare feet. So kind of this tapping sound. Skin on metal.
Okay. Xander is going to not immediately head towards this sound, but he's going to kind of walk around to all of the rooms that people had chosen. And he's going to spend a little bit of time in front of every door just listening.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a bit, he'll head towards the sound of the bare feet.
Well, as you head to the southeast part of the building, you can hear more and more loudly that source of that noise. And as you turn the corner and look onto the southeast balcony, you can see dancing on the railing above the planters with various multicolored plants and flowers is one Louie Freeman, just having a good time, dancing around like they don't have a care in the world.
I wouldn't describe it as that, but okay.
Go ahead.
So, I think in this moment, there's definitely, now that you've gotten a lot closer, the expression that he has on his face, his eyes are currently closed as he's doing this. And there's kind of a mixed value of pain on his face, if not a lot of sorrow. And it seems as though he's just kind of in a moment.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a stealth check. Just for the sake of it, honestly. That's a 16. It's not bad. Not bad.
It's an excellent stealth check from Xander.
Considering I have a -3 to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess the question is, are you wearing your armor currently?
Louie?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Xander.
No.
Yeah, if you're not wearing your chainmail currently, then it's actually 4 higher than that.
Ooh.
So you got a
okay.
20.
Very cool.
I guess I could do a perception, though I would say that it probably has a penalty just because Louie's distracted.
Yeah, you're sort of in a reverie right now. But yeah, go ahead.
So I rolled a
Yeah.
15, which the total out to 24, but you put whatever negative you want on there.
Yeah, it's a -10 for being distracted in this case. So you got a 14, which is not enough to notice Xander.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So Xander is just kind of peeking a little bit around the corner at Louie, and he is just going to watch him extremely intently without saying anything for as long as it takes for Louie to recognize that he is being watched.
Okay. I would say after some time, a moment or time passes in a way where his song pretty much ends.
Mhm.
And he stops dancing and he has his left foot out on one of the higher poles of the railing, with his weight mostly being on his right foot. And he stops, and you see him just take a bow in front of him, which would be more towards the outside of the inn itself.
And Xander claps.
Louie kind of turns down, but turns around, but also steps back at the same time into the balcony, which is more so into the planter that he is right next to. Oh, shoot. And then you just see him moving one foot on top of the other to kind of kick off the dirt that is now on his foot. The bottom of his feet. I mean, Xander's seen this before, but I haven't really described it. The bottom of his feet are severely burnt. Not that it affects him anymore, but rather it's just scarred tissue. And he turns around to look at Xander. Hi.
You know, traditionally people wear shoes to avoid situations such as that.
With being on the railings, and you can see him gesture as he's talking, I just thought that it would be easier to hold on then.
Is dancing upon railings one of your hobbies, or perhaps a special skill?
I wouldn't say not exactly. It's more like there was a lot of weird stuff that my mom made me learn, I guess. That a lot of it involved balance, and he kind of gestures to the railing. That was kind of close enough to what I had to do when I first was learning. So.
I see. I imagine that it will come in handy in the days to come.
Oh. If you say so. I'm guessing you weren't sleeping because there was a lot going on and you don't sleep.
Those statements are both true. And I suppose you're not sleeping because...
I just I feel wrong, to be honest. And I don't particularly feel safe sleeping when I'm like this.
And yet you were sleeping just now, in a sense.
Louie looks up at the sky in the moment. I guess I was just giving a normal performance.
Interesting. Well, who are you performing for, then?
Louie gestures at the sky that he's still looking at. The stars.
Well, the thing about stars is that if you entertain them too much, they might take an interest in you.
Well, they are among my first friends. So I'm interested back.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that.
Did you... what's the verb for this? Sear something that is an unfortunate event of my enjoyment of such things?
I have seen many things that I believe could constitute unfortunate events in the context of things that you enjoy.
Any I should know about?
Yes, probably.
But would you tell me?
I suppose the better question is, will I tell you?
Will you tell me?
Xander kind of tilts his head back and forth. You tell me.
I believe that what my friend deems safe and necessary to loop me in on, he will.
Okay.
Louie sort of shifts his body, and you can see him looking a little uncomfortable as he goes to retrieve his boots that were sort of in the nook of the balcony and sit down to put them on. I finished the shirt, I guess, which is more obvious now that you're here, but I was gonna surprise you, but sorry, it's not a surprise.
I am not sure why you are apologizing for that, Louie.
You know, I find it regrettable that I didn't get to surprise you with it, but I hope the presentation itself is still acceptable. Is that better?
I wouldn't say that there is a value judgment attached to your statement, but if it makes you feel better, then yes, that was better. Very interesting reinterpretation of that.
I didn't change very much. Well, I guess I added some details, and Louie will touch the kind of diamond star pattern on his chest that has these sort of different variation of gold, satiny fabric going out in streams out of it. I mostly just took in the areas that had the sheer fabric, and yeah, I don't think that's gonna look good on me, so, you know.
Are you sure?
I think I would be too embarrassed, to be honest.
Embarrassed why?
I feel weird about people seeing parts of me, I guess. Besides, I have wrappings around my stomach underneath. I think it would look a little odd if you could see that part.
That makes sense. Very you.
Please elaborate.
I feel like your design choices are very prophetic.
Prophetic.
Indeed. Even more so, given that you have sewn the threads yourself.
Well, it's always important to know how to do something yourself instead of using magic. In my opinion.
That is certainly a fascinating way to look at your own magic.
I think there's often a sense where, no, many times in my life, things that I thought could never leave me, precious things, either items or people, they do happen to leave me, and anything can change and go away in such an easily drastic manner in such a small amount of time. And I cannot risk leaning on one thing too much.
Do you feel that that gets in the way of you living your life?
Me making sure I'm capable, or?
Yes.
I feel as though a lot of things get in the way of me living my own life.
That is true. But I feel like in this context, one of those things is yourself, is it not?
I suppose I hadn't considered that as an option.
You could equally find yourself without the ability to move tomorrow, and in that case, being able to do things by yourself without the aid of magic would not get you very far.
I've already had plenty of periods of time like that.
I imagine.
But I was still the one taking care of me. Except for
It's not a
when I
surprise.
was very little.
That makes sense.
Perhaps I am in my own way. Though, I'm not really sure if there's a right answer of how to be out of my way.
Probably not.
Right.
And if there was, I'm not sure that you would follow it.
Yeah. I guess it would really depend on what it was.
Probably.
Before I met you all, things were hard, but they weren't this challenging, I should say.
And why do you think that is?
Well, I suppose all I really had to care about was myself in those moments, normally. I took care of me, and that was pretty good. I hadn't realized that caring for other people would be so scary.
Scary?
It's not like I want to lose any of you. Maybe some of you.
So maybe it is like you want to lose any of us.
Well, the important ones I don't want to lose. You're included in that section.
You know, I did.
You doubted
Guess
for a
that one.
second? Oh, good. Whew. I was worried I was a terrible friend and misled you in some way like that. Even with all my outbursts and unusual reactions. I genuinely don't want to take out those feelings on other people. It just, I don't know. It's not an excuse. I get frustrated with myself. It gets so loud sometimes. What? Louie looks behind him and then back at Xander. Is there something on my clothing? Did I miss a stitch? Did I miss a pin? I don't feel a pin. I might feel
Is
a pin
there something
later.
wrong with your clothing?
I didn't think so, but you were staring.
I do have a habit of doing that sometimes.
I suppose I should ask, what are you looking for?
I don't believe that I'm looking for anything specifically so much as just observing.
Mm. Well, what have you observed?
You're very wispy.
What's wispy?
You.
Understood.
Oh.
It's hard to interpret what the word means. However, my gut feeling was I did not like it.
That is not surprising coming from you.
My apologies.
Once again, I do not believe you have anything to apologize for. If anything, you should be apologizing to yourself.
Perhaps
But I don't
that's
think
what
you're
I
very good
do
at that.
when I say I'm sorry.
Do you mean it, though?
Do I mean when I'm sorry?
To yourself.
I think there's many times that I am sorry to myself. But maybe pity is a more accurate statement.
Yes, I think those are quite different.
Would you like to go on a walk with me?
On a walk?
Around town. We used to patrol Luciana,
Oh, would you like to patrol tonight?
if you're interested. If you have important things you need to do here, I completely understand, and I would be a little sad, but I also understand.
Well, there are a couple of important things that I'm supposed to be doing here.
At this very moment, or do you mean in general while we're in... What town is this? Pentris?
Pentris. Exactly.
At this very moment, Xander, what do you want to do?
Xander opens his mouth and then looks like he's contemplating something, closes his mouth, turns to the side, smiles to himself, and then looks back at Louie. At this particular moment, I want to ask you a question.
Oh. Louie will stand up, kind of kicking his boots a little to get his feet in just right. Go on.
Xander's just gonna stare at Louie just for a little bit, and he's not gonna say anything. He's just staring at him.
Louie, while he's being stared at, just instinctively shifts his body behind the planter.
Good.
You can see him slowly start to hunch over himself and just physically start to appear more and more uncomfortable as he's being stared at.
Is everything all right, Louie?
Oh, is that your question?
Well, that was a question, but not the question.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how to feel when I get stared at.
You must not know how to feel a lot.
It sort of feels extra weird when I'm wrong. So.
That's what I thought. Do you think that your outfit would be enhanced if you accessorized a little bit? That was my question.
I mean, I'm not done with the entirety of it. There's still a lot of fabric I have to finish up. I just sort of... I finished the shirt tonight, and kind of with the whole... was wearing a burnt shirt for quite a bit. It's less cold, and
I don't think we're talking about the same subject.
what do you
Xander is
mean
going to say,
by accessorize?
and he's going to brush his hand. He's going to brush some hair behind his shoulder, and as he does, his cloak just flutters in the breeze. The tattered cloak of Kilorian.
I'm glad you're wearing it.
I think it would look better on you, though.
That's really sweet. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Shall we go on patrol?
Yeah. That would be awesome. That would be great. There's stairs over here.
Sure. Let me get changed really quickly.
Oh, yeah, not a problem. And Louie will sort of get closer. Should I just wait outside your door, or are you gonna do a magic change?
Perhaps. Anyways, Xander's gonna take off his cloak and he's gonna throw it at Louie.
Louie just steps back and lets it land on the ground.
I would like to do a reflex saving throw to catch this cloak. That's a 16.
Is all well, Beardifer?
Yes. All is well.
Okay.
A 16 definitely succeeds.
Okay.
Okay. Xander is going to catch the cloak and look up at Louie.
You see him looking guilty, but he has not moved past moving away from it. You should take better care of that.
Xander just stares at him.
He proceeds to move behind the planter again. What's up?
I don't know. What's up, Louie?
The sky. Stupid. Oh my god. I'm sorry. That was really dumb.
What in particular?
Sorry. I'm having a hard time breathing tonight. What was the question?
Nothing of import, Xander's going to say, and he's going to turn and walk back to his room.
Okay. Louie will sort of follow, observe Zulin existing in his room for a moment, and then follow along behind, kind of being close by to Xander's door.
Low Polyzulin isn't real. He can't hurt you.
Yes, he can! He can!
He can't! He can't!
His slimes can!
Not if you're slime, too.
I don't want to be a slime. I want to
Why
be
not?
a good boy.
Well, bad news.
What the fuck does that mean?
You're neither.
That's rude. Fuck you. He's a very good boy. Louie is leaning up against the wall where the bedrooms are, not the railing to the garden below. And his head turns when Xander's door opens. How does Xander look?
Xander looks exactly the same.
Okay. Hey. How
Hello,
is
Louie.
the change?
Excellent.
Oh, good.
How was the change?
I don't understand.
I imagine not. Xander will exit to the room and smile as Louie steps back.
Sorry, I just don't really... It's just how I am right now, you know?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. What do you know?
That you don't like proximity when you're like this. Amongst other things. Or perhaps that's not the right word.
Well, thank you for taking notice.
You're welcome, Louie.
Shall we head out of here?
Sure. Are you ready for your patrol tonight?
I believe so. Besides, I
You're not,
gotta... I was just gonna say I've got a whole new semi look. I don't have the full thing done, but it's halfway there, partially there, mostly there. Kind of no, partially's. Is that too big? Louis just starts to go on murmuring on whether or not partial is too big or not.
Xander's just silently following behind Louie, staring at him extremely intently.
Observing low polyzulin for a moment.
As one must.
As one must.
Blow him a little kiss.
And Louie and Xander will head out of the area and onto the streets, baby. Let's see. Where is it? There you are. So, we are currently in Pentris, just kind of right outside the bathhouse area.
Indeed.
So, any particular area that you'd like to venture forth in for a little while? Or, I mean, this city's brand new to me, so I don't actually know where we'd be going.
I have a couple of places I'd like to go, but I'm not sure if tonight's quite the night for that.
That's okay. May I know what those places are?
Yes. One of them is what you might call a sort of prison.
Well, I sure fucking hope we find it here. Otherwise, that would be really... Sorry. We are going to find it.
It has already been found.
I want to save him.
And if you can't, What if
Find another way.
saving Owen is just the tip of the iceberg?
Well, I suppose I would like to know what the iceberg is then.
What if you have no way of knowing what the iceberg is until after?
After we find Owen, or... Oh, sorry.
What if you find yourself in a room with no windows and only one door, and on the other side of the door you hear a voice calling out for you, and you're all alone, no company, no solace, no comfort, and you feel compelled to open this door.
Is that what happened
But
to
you can't
you?
know what's on the other side until you've already pushed through.
I suppose I would try to get in contact with you first before I tried to make too much of a drastic measure. But if I can't get in contact with you, I suppose I would try my best to find as much information as I could about what was happening to me.
What if you couldn't know?
Well, I suppose if there's only an option, well, two, either stay and be alone forever, maybe,
Yes.
or see what's on the other side.
And it could potentially be dangerous.
It could be. But I'm not sure anything could be as bad as it used to be.
Interesting.
Maybe that's not a good driver for me. Possibly not a very healthy one. But, well, I would try to curb my curiosity as best I could, but, well, it is a dangerous thing.
That it is. Especially in a place such as this.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I'm super curious about this place, to be honest. I've read
Oh?
plenty about Pentress. There were a lot of reports about it from the several incidents that happened over the past, I don't know, couple decades. I think it's decades.
Yes.
Though I didn't know very much about the Iron Rose. I'm not so sure how recent that is. The information is cold, I guess, in comparison to what I thought it was.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I apologize. I didn't I didn't answer your question. Technically.
No, I think you did.
Oh. Well, that's good. Do you think by that action I would have hurt people? In the scenario you've made?
Define hurt people, Louie. Will the action you take result in other events taking place in which individuals are hurt?
Well,
Most certainly.
I think anyone can do that. Actually, everyone does that. I think it's an inevitable thing, to be frankly honest, as saddening as that is.
Precisely.
I suppose
But yes.
when I say hurt anybody, it's more so in a more stressed, extreme manner.
I suppose what I'm curious about is if you know that opening the door would hurt everybody, would you consign yourself to live in that box for as long as time itself in order to prevent that harm from coming to everyone else? Or would you choose freedom?
I would choose freedom.
Xander smiles and nods to himself.
I hope that does not have you thinking any less of me.
No, it doesn't.
Good. I am definitely not perfect, and I fully understand I'm a very flawed person. But
I don't think it is a flaw to want to be free.
good. I think it's natural for most beings. Though I'm not sure if all beings have that feeling. I can't assume because I'm not them.
That is fair. I could probably say that not all beings experience that desire to be free.
Not many
I think for some
beings
beings-
really experience the knowledge that they are not free.
That is true. Though I imagine there is also a class of beings for which freedom is antithetical to their nature.
Sorry. Rough night for me.
I can imagine.
Was the question you asked earlier the one you wanted to ask? In the inn.
Yes.
Okay. Why accessories? Other than the cloak. Was it just the cloak? I fear that I am very good at misinterpreting things, and I simply want to understand.
Would you like to try on the talisman? I think it would look good with your outfit.
Isn't it safer on you?
Is it?
Louie's head tilts. And you can see as he's walking, there's definitely this long pause of him going through several thoughts at once. A lot of confusion is displayed on his face, though. Well, you should probably ask our moth friend to stay out of it, maybe. If I'm to
Why is
wear
that?
it. I'm always worried I might break it.
Is that so?
I mean, that's what happened the first time I wore it. I was worried I would break it, so we had the moth out.
We could test it out.
But what if I hurt him?
I don't think you will.
But if I do,
Besides, Actually, never mind.
Fine. If that is...
Is that a fine? You would like to test out this idea?
I will test out the idea for you.
Don't do it for me, Louie.
I don't know how this could be for me. At this moment.
Xander just smiles.
Louie bows his head, kind of putting his hand on his chest. Just, it's not a full bow, but it's enough to where if Xander wanted to put the amulet on him, it would be easy.
Xander is going to take off the amulet and he is going to put it around Louie's neck.
Okay. Louie will stand up with it on. Does anything happen when it goes on?
Maybe.
I don't know. That's up to you.
Run it by me one more time.
The amulet.
Xander is going to take out the talisman of Owen and he's going to put it around Louie's neck.
Gotcha. Louie, what else are you wearing currently? It's your standard gear?
Yeah, standard gear. I've got the new outfit on with the shirt. But
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Nothing major happens. You put on the talisman of Owen and the amulet, and yeah, you don't really notice anything significantly change.
And while Louie is having that moment, Xander is going to slip the cloak of Calorian off his shoulders and then put it around Louie's.
Okay.
so, what happens then?
Yeah, I've sent you a message with what happens.
Oh, okay.
Check your Discord.
Just a quick question. All right. So, Louie, just kind of in his surprise as this thing is affecting him, he has kind of a stronger jawline. He gets a little bit taller.
I would also like to say that as Xander does this, he closes his eyes.
Okay. Yeah, Louie just stands there. Is there something you needed to talk to me about?
Not in particular.
Then why all this?
Well, what?
Why insist on me wearing the cloak?
Why not insist on you wearing the cloak?
I figured it would only be used for emergencies.
And why is that?
I can't say.
I didn't think so. But you know what they say about threes. I assume.
Enlighten me.
Well, they say many things about three.
They do.
For example, 3 is one of the most stable numbers, that events tend to happen in threes, and that by lining things up so that they happen in threes. They form a pattern. It's a form of, for some, shaping the future, one could say.
All right. Says the star who's constantly dancing in it.
Potentially. But this does mean that you have allowed me to give you that gift twice now.
So you're assuring that the third must happen.
Yes.
You're
It's a
quite
precedent that's been
troublesome.
set. That is true, I've been told.
But it's good. Louie is going to take a step closer. And you feel the like pinky / side of his hand kind of go against your chest for a moment. Still too short.
Well, if you work really hard and practice some visualization exercises, perhaps you can fix that the third time around.
Right.
Or if you need more than that, I suppose there could be a fourth and fifth and sixth time too.
Only if you trick me enough.
I suppose that could sound to some people like an invitation. And you know what happens when you invite a being not from this world with such promises. It can be tantalizing.
I mean, Xander can't see it, but Louie again tilts his head.
Xander smiles.
Hey, Xander.
Yes, Louie?
I don't know if... I feel as though I don't fully understand what's going on, and I'm not trying to be a bother by asking questions. I merely want to understand your standpoint in this.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say what's going on, I don't mean in such a literal sense as this moment right now, but more so, what have you seen?
I have seen the destination, the inevitability of what is to come, some of the challenges that must be faced, the darkness that lurks below. Why do you think stars grant wishes? What do you think they get out of it?
Huh.
I'm not looking for an answer, by the way, just food for thought, I suppose you could say.
That is quite an odd phrase, don't you think?
I think that
Perhaps
thoughts
it's
make great
that.
food. Perhaps you're right.
I'm not quite sure. I don't think I am right now.
Food for thought?
Right.
Ah, I see. I was going to say we could test that one out.
And how... I would prefer to keep living, so hopefully that would not entail my demise or destruction or what have you.
That's fair. Perhaps I'll eat your thoughts another day then.
And what thoughts would you eat, may I ask?
All of them, of course.
All of them? Do I get to keep any of them? Is this a shared thing?
I don't know, that depends. Do you want to keep any of them? Do you not want to keep any of them is the better question.
I suppose I'd have to delve in deeper of what exactly it entails.
I suppose you would.
And how are you doing without these items on you?
Much the same as always.
Apologize, or rather, I thought that you would need them on you.
Oh? Why is that?
Well, how to explain that without sounding stupid? I suppose because Owen created you, or forged you, that those sort of essences would feel right to you, and be sort of a safety blanket, I guess.
I am never safe.
That makes my heart hurt.
There is no need for that, Louie. There's no problem with me being unsafe. I was created to be unsafe. Besides, one of the items doesn't even work for me.
The cloak.
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
All right.
Why do you ask?
He just gives the sound of a shrug mostly. I suppose I was hoping for better.
Why is that?
You're quite curious today.
Because you say things worthy of curiosity.
As do you. I apologize. I cannot say.
Fascinating. I see. I have noted this for the future.
And you're very good at that. Thank you for not looking. Though,
You're welcome, Louie.
I was planning on asking you before I felt wrong that I was going to ask if you wanted to see with my eyes. Since you didn't want to impose on the mountain. I don't think it'll be scary. If that was ever a worry.
For who?
I suppose you probably wouldn't get scared.
I imagine not.
Doesn't stop me from worrying about you.
It's true. Though it does bring me some amount of confusion.
Me worrying about you.
No. Though sometimes, I suppose, yes.
That
you would let me see through your eyes.
Oh. And why does that confuse you?
It seems rather counter
Counter?
to some of your other efforts.
I'm actually not quite sure what you mean this time.
I imagine it has something to do with the... Well, actually, I can't say.
That's okay. It would be nice if you could, but I understand that we both have blocks, one might say.
Precisely.
I don't think I should keep this on for much longer.
Well, I suppose you have complete freedom over when you stop wearing them.
I suppose so. I suppose I want to make sure that you've asked everything you want to.
I didn't have anything in particular that I wanted to ask you with these on.
You just wanted me to have them on to cause the third reaction. All right.
No. Like I said, I simply thought that you would look better accessorized.
All right. That's strange verbiage you use sometimes. But I suppose...
Consider it a test run.
Test run.
Mm-hmm.
In good time, I hope I'll understand.
I suppose that one's up to you.
I'd have to understand what you're saying first, Xander.
Perhaps.
When I'm feeling right again, I would allow you to look through my eyes, if that's something you're interested in.
Sure.
Just make sure to ask. And
I'll try
Louie
my best.
will take a step back, take off the amulet and the cloak, and clear his throat. I believe these are yours.
No, but I'm simply borrowing them for now. I'll take them back.
Well, I appreciate you taking care of them.
But of course, that's what I'm here for. And he'll slip the talisman around his neck and then put the cloak around his shoulders.
It's getting warmer, huh? The air.
Yes. It's not all that's getting warmer.
The summer's coming soon. Hopefully we'll be near a beach by then.
I wonder.
The kind of beach I'm talking about.
That
If you
makes
don't mind
sense.
me saying.
I certainly do not. Though I imagine we'll be in Parthenae, the hottest point in the summer.
Do you think they'll be any kinder there than they have been here? People, that is.
What kinds of people are we talking about?
Mortals?
As opposed to the immortals.
You never know
What if I
when
said
you
the
run.
immortals would be kinder in Parthenae than they are here?
Then I would be glad for it.
Mm,
Maybe.
fascinating.
I suppose it would depend on,
Well, then I suppose we'll have to see a lot of mortals while we're here in Burgos, so that you can make a proper assessment.
Have I not? I
I don't know, have you?
think I particularly like Burgos, to be honest.
And what of the immortals in Burgos?
What's the list I have?
Is there a particular reason why you're asking me?
You have good foresight on these measures.
I suppose so. Well, I imagine you'll be adding 2 or so to that list soon.
Mm. When you meet an immortal, what do you hope for? If you hope for anything.
When I meet an immortal,
Yes.
I generally do not hope.
I always find myself hoping that they'll be kind.
Are they, in your experience?
Well, most of the time I've been kind of ignored by them, so one could say no. But
And what if they're what you perceive as a rejection is a form of kindness?
then I wish to understand.
I imagine that you will. One day.
Though makes me feel maybe not the correct word, but venomous.
Oh, I think that's the perfect word to describe it.
It's been a lot of times. One can't help but have certain reactions sometimes when it keeps happening.
That makes sense to me.
The star is quite lovely tonight.
Xander looks up.
Louie is staring at Xander.
I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth.
Hmm. Which one?
Louie is going to step a little bit closer and then gently touch his finger knuckles against Xander's chest. This one.
Xander looks at Louie and tilts his head slightly. He just observes him.
After a moment, he retreats back a little bit, just giving them a good old 5-foot step away.
Mm-hmm. It's like we're in a hot tub or something. Gee.
Not gay.
You are fascinating.
Oh, thank you. I
You're
do
welcome.
hope that is a compliment.
Xander smiles.
Not going to answer that one. Wily today.
I'd say you're rather wily yourself today.
I'm mostly...
But not as wily as normal.
I understand.
Much more wispy.
Delightful.
It's like a little candy cloud.
Okay, well, I mean, part of that word is... It's nice. Also, it's called candy floss. Anyway, sorry, that's not the point. Thank you for your kind words. I didn't mean to.
So be like a candy cloud?
No.
My apologies. Candy
Raise-
floss.
You're doing it on purpose, aren't you?
I'm doing what on purpose?
Never mind. It's fine.
If you say so, Louie.
I am...
Wispy, like a candy floss. Yes, we've established this.
It's not what I was gonna say.
But it is what I was going to say. And I did.
And you did.
But what were you going to say?
I hate being called wispy, but it is nice to be called one of my favorite candies.
Maybe you'll have a... Or maybe you would have a dream about candy floss if you went to sleep.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Probably not. I do have some Fool's Rest left over if you'd prefer that. We know that gives you wonderful dreams.
But that also keeps me incapacitated.
That is true.
As enticing as that sounds right now, I think it's safer if I stay awake.
If you say so.
Yes, it is safer. I believe that. Very much so.
Xander nods and looks around.
Louie will do so as well, since we are kind of sort of on patrol. Why? Perhaps I'm getting the wording wrong. It's been a while since we've talked about it, but why do you want to see the beach with me? Not my kind. Or, not the one I'm talking of. Or was talking of. I'm trying not to be confusing, to be frankly honest, but not very good at it.
I think the only one who is being confused by you is you, Louie.
What an interesting statement. I disagree, however.
Interesting.
Is it?
Yes, very.
All right. Well, the question, nonetheless, if you understand it.
I'm afraid I don't understand the question, actually.
Perhaps I'm misremembering, but I thought you...
No, you're remembering correctly. I understand the words of the question. I simply don't understand the concept of the question, I suppose.
In what ways?
In the sense of if I were to ask you, why do you breathe?
Because it is the function that is necessary to live.
Now that is a fascinating response to that question.
Though I'm not doing a very good job at it today. To be honest.
Well, it's a very important function for you, so I would get on that probably.
When I'm feeling right, it'll go back to normal.
That's good to know. I suppose to answer your question, I want to see that shore with you because it would be nice. And also I made a promise, and it would make me a liar if I did not.
I did a while ago say it was going to be a date after all.
You did?
Will it be scary? If you know.
It'll be far from the least, or far from the most scary thing you've experienced, I imagine.
That's good. I really don't want to experience that ever again.
I imagine you don't.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone. If anything,
That
I'd
makes sense.
prefer to prevent something like that from ever occurring again, but I do not have that power.
You could.
I don't even know if that's a good idea.
But why is that?
Well, I'm just one man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I feel as though that would be too much.
Too much. Interesting. Seems like it would be something appropriate for a hero.
Perhaps, but then a hero would probably have to have those abilities, don't you think?
And you don't.
I don't think I do, at least not right now.
Do you think most heroes are born? Are they made? Or do they become?
I think the latter two.
Hmm.
Sometimes born. I suppose that seems like the rarer option.
Perhaps. So
But-
then it would simply be a matter of you becoming, I suppose.
Perhaps, but again, I'm not quite sure I'd have the capabilities or even the right to such things.
You seem very capable to me.
Well, thank you. I mean, if we're gonna pick anyone out of the party other than you, I would pick me too. They're, oh, sorry. I mean the group.
That's quite all right.
Yeah, out of all of that, though, I'm still not even sure how I could accomplish anything I could imagine in that instance.
Really. I think you've accomplished quite a lot.
I don't think it's enough.
Then I suppose we'll have to do more.
If the world allows me to live long enough.
I don't think it's the world's decision.
Then whose is it?
I imagine one man's.
I think it's more complicated than that, Xander.
I'm going to borrow Detlev's words.
Oh boy.
Sometimes the most complex problems have the simplest solutions.
What should I do?
about it all.
We'll go with that.
Well, the answer I would instinctually give, I feel, will not be useful to you. Mostly because I don't feel that you would
Take it
follow
well.
said advice.
Well. The nice thing is, in the very least, you can always tell that I'm still me because I can't agree with you on everything. I don't think it's possible for me.
What a lovely response.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh. Kind of you to say.
Very prophetic.
It's been pretty quiet overall in this city. It's a city, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Pentress is currently a city, though it may not be for long.
Ooh,
It's a bit ominous.
Is
it's
it?
a bit ominous.
It's a little ominous, Xander. Yes.
Oh, I would say that it's more than a little bit ominous, but that's just me.
Just Xander.
Perhaps. Or something else.
Are you someone else today?
I could be.
That didn't answer the question.
I suppose if I was, you would know, though, right?
I've told you before what I imagine is you, but maybe I was wrong.
Perhaps. But you've got rather good eyes, so...
But I think there's a high possibility that I might not be able to know. They're still mortal.
In the way that implies that at one point they will no longer be.
No,
Would you like to take that back? Put it out into the universe.
You're the one putting it out into the universe, not me.
That your eyes will cease to be mortal?
Stop saying it.
Stop saying what, Louie?
And Louie just kind of looks like he's looking around for a moment as if you just said something super blasphemous.
Too late, I believe. It's already been heard. If you listen carefully, you can almost hear the echoes.
I believe that's what your ears can register, not mine.
Oh, you'll be hearing the echoes too, Louie.
Whatever.
But that's what happens when the acoustics are built for that.
Acoustics?
Yes. I imagine when we go down below, the acoustics will be quite something to witness.
Where the prison is.
Yes. And no.
Oh boy, it's one of those. Okay. Delightful. I'll try my best to keep Xander safe.
I appreciate that. But I don't know if that's a part.
What?
Hmm?
I just didn't catch the last part. I'm so sorry.
I said that might not be in the cards.
Are you... Will you stay after Pentress?
I don't know that that's up to me.
Do you want to stay?
I want to do what is right.
Cute. I think my sentiments are very similar.
Interesting.
Is it?
Yes.
Hmm.
What if keeping Xander safe got in the way of doing what was right?
Hmm. I think that's a very dangerous question.
I have a fondness for asking dangerous questions.
That you do. I believe it. I want the world to be a better place. I want people's souls to not be in agony after they pass on. If even what's happening right now is possibly considered passing on. But I'm not sure. No, I'm fairly sure that I am a selfish mortal who desperately just wants to be around him for him to stay. And it's cruel because he might not want to.
Mm. And what if him staying around brought harm to the world?
It's a tough That's a tough question. I'm trying to figure out how much I care.
It's a good question. What if it was not saving Owen, or not saving Owen, but choosing to save Owen, or choosing to save Xander? What would you do in that situation?
You're really pushing it.
Oh, I'm pushing a lot of things recently, Louie.
I can't say for sure because I act on emotion a lot. It's a flaw and sometimes a blessing to some people. Right now, I'd probably say I'd save Xander.
Mm-hmm. That is very sweet.
God, I hate that word.
Like candy floss.
Your first food?
Yes and no.
Well, in some instances, based on the other conversation we've had about it.
Indeed. Though I'd say the other potential answer is a lot like candy floss, too.
Do you detest any of my answers?
To questions that I have asked tonight,
Yes.
to questions that I have asked in general, to questions that you have for yourself.
Of the most recent ones you were asking.
No. Why would I detest your answers, Louie?
I don't know why you would detest them, but I ask because I care about your opinion. That is why I ask so often for clarification. I need to understand.
Mm.
What are you thinking?
About the things that the future holds. The unfortunate truth. Currently unwritten tragedies. Unexpected joys. The moments of dawning realization, horror. The end. A lot of different things. The usual, I suppose.
That does sound like the usual for you. But I'm glad that you have many perspectives. they do help form my own. For the ones that you do share with me. There are many,
makes
many
sense.
things you do not.
That is true.
I want to... This thing I'm about to bring up, it's not for a sense of apology, but rather I want to be better about something. And it's a very hard thing to be better about. For me. I don't
All right.
think would be hard for other people, but for me, it is. I really, really don't mean to take things out on you. And I need you to understand that some of the words I'm about to use, we can't take them 100% literally right now.
Sure.
But I know I fly off the top and get upset when things are just really stressful. And I'm going to be honest, being around the group in general is just a really, really stressful thing for me. I'm just not used to being around people like this. And I get bulldozed so easily in a conversation. And it's just, it's already, everything is already so loud. I am closest to you. So you unfortunately experience maybe more of my ire than you ever should. I want in some way to be checked back in, refocused, so that I'm not doing that to you. And I don't know what the solution is. I don't even know if I'd be good at it, but you don't deserve that. And I shouldn't be doing that, for one thing. You frustrate me plenty of times, but that does not mean that I do not wish to be cruel. I want to be kind.
You are kind, Louie.
Maybe not enough.
But no one can be kind all the time. And sometimes kindness is cruelty. And cruelty can be kindness.
I have... My viewpoints do not align with that second one. But that is only because I'm coming from specific experiences.
That makes sense.
It's hard for me to regulate some things. Specifically emotions, really. But I know in the in between of feeling right and wrong, it gets more jumbled. Even more difficult to concentrate. If there is some sort of code you want to use to say I'm just going a little too far, or I need to step back and breathe or something, I would be grateful for it. I forget myself sometimes.
I cannot think of a time that you have gone too far with me.
Then I suppose I'm the only one upset at myself. I feel quite awful after some things. I feel unreasonable often. It is very rare for me to care so deeply about someone.
That makes sense. I can understand why you would feel a lot of things about certain behaviors that you feel are cruel. However, perhaps it's just a matter of perspective. I just don't feel like the same rules apply to me as they would to others.
I know. Or rather, I imagine. But to me, I see you as an equal. So that is why it's so important to me that you be treated as such.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Tell me your thoughts.
I'm thinking of how it is unfortunate that our viewpoints don't align.
Is it so unfortunate?
Yes, it is rather unfortunate.
But Xander, you haven't truly told me all of your viewpoints.
I haven't, but most of them stem from a rather central one, and that one I have shared.
Louie nods. I'm sorry I disappointed you.
I do not believe that I am disappointed.
I was 15. When I was married off.
That makes
Too young to run away.
indeed.
How much do you understand about humans?
What sort of answer are you looking for, Louie?
More so how much you understand. Do you understand when they mature? How long it takes for them to be children? Stuff like that. A more
Yes.
biology sense.
Yes, I am quite well aware of human biology.
Well, I had to check since you've been around for about 3 years. Yes?
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, I feel as though I was a very stupid and naive child. I didn't know anything. I didn't know wrongs of this world or rights. I personally believe that children do not gain a personality, or rather empathy, until they are much older. Until they learn hardships. But until then, there's a sort of sense of sociopathy that I believe most children are under until such parameters are met. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes.
Well, as a child, I had no idea how much pain my sister was in. But I was also bedridden quite a bit. There's a lot of times where I feel as though all I cared about was myself in those instances. But I think that might be natural for humans in the very least. I can't speak for the other races.
I think it is natural to concern yourself with your own pain.
Hmm.
I believe that's a survival strategy.
Probably. There were many times that I thought I would die. Especially on the days where I couldn't breathe very well. But through it all, there were brief moments of light and happiness. But a lot of it was dark. Do you think it wrong of me that I think I deserve better?
No.
Hmm.
I think simply a fact.
Say that again. Sorry.
I think that's simply a fact.
Thank you. And yet, it felt as though almost every being I met for a very, very long time wanted me to know the opposite. That I did not deserve to want more. That I didn't deserve better.
That is not all that surprising,
Well,
but very sad.
perhaps to me in the very least, but I fear telling people about this because then they pity me.
Is it bad to be pitied?
Maybe not for everyone. But it makes me quite angry, to be honest.
Do you feel as though you are being lowered by the act of pity?
That's fairly correct. Yes. I feel as though there has been many cases where I've always been lesser than. There are often times where, because of that, I grew to despise many, many people around me. But I still want better for this world. Better for people like me. But I'm
It is
not
a noble
sure.
desire for the world.
It's kind of you to say. I will do my best. Do what I can to make it so that hopefully we all can be happy. Maybe it'll be less fleeting.
I believe it will be.
Even if I am inherently selfish for these wants.
Are you inherently selfish for those wants?
I suppose that's all I ever knew.
And is selfishness a bad thing?
I think everything in moderation could be a good thing, I suppose.
I suppose so.
But too much.
That makes sense. You hold yourself to high standard.
I was held to high standards once my sister was gone. Before that, they expected that I'd die.
They were wrong. At least. In a sense.
Louie makes a very familiar face to Xander in the very least, where he looks confused, but you see at the end sort of not a fully understanding nod, but more as an acknowledgement nod.
Sure.
I fear as though that illness, that thing, will always find its way back to me.
It won't.
Thank you.
You're welcome, though I don't believe I've done anything that
You've-
requires thing.
You've given me comfort with your words, which is not something I get very often from many people.
Well, in that case, you are very welcome.
It may be a low standard of sorts, but sometimes the smallest things mean a lot more to me than grand gestures.
That makes sense.
I'm scared.
Of what in particular?
A lot.
There is a lot to be afraid of in this world.
I'm afraid of failing. Afraid of being hurt. But in a complex sort of way that involves like 3 different layers of explanation, but I'm just paraphrasing mostly by saying hurt. It's a lot.
Seems like it.
I just want to be right.
You will be.
There is a time where I would like to hear more about your life in that temple. I am curious about it. But I want you to be able to tell it to me when you think it's necessary to talk about. And maybe you'll never find it necessary, though I do imagine at some point I'll say, well, then you have to tell me, because I do want to know a lot about you.
That makes sense. I imagine you'll learn a little bit more about me and my life in the temple very soon. When the truth is revealed.
Are you worried about me knowing the truth?
No?
Good. I wish I could hug you right now.
What a very careless wish, Louie. I'm sure you could make much better ones than that.
I suppose more accurately, I would like to be right in order to ask you if I could have a hug. But
That also seems like a careless wish to me.
how is that a careless wish?
I feel like
And I didn't say I wish, thank you, for the second one.
that you could make far more economical use of a wish than simply wishing to be right so that you could ask for a hug.
Asking for things is terrifying to me. It comes with
That makes
this
sense.
lump in my chest.
Hmm.
A fear that threatens to swallow me sometimes for just the simplest of things.
Fear is a strange beast.
I feel as though it follows me quite often.
Yes, I imagine it does.
I would like to find a way to overcome that a little bit better in my future.
Hmm.
But I don't know how long it'll take. I suppose I thought leaving that place being out in the world would be nicer, kinder. It really hasn't been, though.
I can understand that. Though, I imagine things are only just beginning.
Do you think I'll survive this?
Life?
I suppose I meant our journey. But if our journey
as
is life,
defined by the trip that we are currently taking to free Owen from the prison, or our journey in the sense of all of the things that we do while we are operating as a unit, because those may or may not be the same thing.
I suppose I was thinking us operating as a unit.
Well,
If you must use such militaristic terms.
If you cease being mortal, I imagine you may survive this.
Then what would I be?
I suppose whatever you want it to be.
Me. Being me doesn't... This feels blasphemous. Never mind. I don't think I should continue that sentence.
Blasphemy?
Hmm.
I feel like that would imply that you have some connection to the faith.
I don't. It's just...
So how could you commit blasphemy?
If for some reason I stopped being mortal and became something different, not quite dead, something else.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I would want to find a way to feel right and learn to be happier. Feel comfort. Not feel as though that I'm running all the time.
That makes sense. Though, I imagine in some instances, patterns tend to repeat themselves. Sometimes when you find yourself in a bigger pond, so are the things that you are trying to swim away from.
It does feel like a lot.
Sometimes to have less power is to have more power, to have more power, to have less.
I don't care about having power.
Freedom
Freedom.
is a form of power. The power to make your own decision.
still working on it. I don't know when I'll get there. Though I do hope you'll still be with me. To be frankly honest, I have no idea how this group is going to stay together if you ever go away.
I can think of a few ways.
I mean, you're the reason we can focus on Owen. It's because of you.
I don't know that.
Those people don't listen to me. They mock me quite often.
That is often the case.
I do not know if I would care enough had you not been with us. Hell, I know Stavik fucking wouldn't have. God. Oh God, he really wouldn't have, would he?
No.
And then Bastion would say something like, I'm fight for my friends or some shit, and Valentino's here for the adventure, whatever the fuck that means. Zulin's gonna attempt to kill a bunch of people probably eventually.
I think he's going
or
to succeed in killing a lot
anti-kill?
of people.
I don't know. Yeah. It's all complicated. But I don't see us being able to do any of this without you.
I don't know about that. I am, at the end of the day, very expendable.
Not to me.
I can see why you would say that.
Well, I'm trying to be honest where I can be.
That is appreciated.
And I do try to tell you when I have to lie. Though,
Yeah.
those tend to be more vague.
True enough.
I hope for a day that I can tell you everything.
That would be nice.
I would like so. So very much. To tell you everything. Whatever question you'd have. I mean, as long as it wasn't too embarrassing or something.
That would be nice.
It will be.
So it has been said.
I feel as though I've spoken quite a bit tonight. Have I gone too far?
In what sense, Louie?
He shrugs.
I suppose only you could determine if you've gone too far. If you don't feel as if you've gone too far, then perhaps you have not. And if you do feel like you have gone too far, perhaps you have not. You're not a very good judge when it comes to yourself.
No, I suppose not. That's why I appreciate your opinions. Your viewpoints.
I am glad to provide them.
Would you like to be out all evening, or should we go back to the inn at some point?
It might be best for us to return to the bathworks at some point, though you do not plan to leave.
No.
Best that you be rested as much as possible for tomorrow.
I was originally planning on sleeping. Truly. Though, I suppose it's never my intention to feel wrong. I am not in fault, I think, at this. But I don't feel comfortable sleeping near you while I'm wrong. Safer as I may be, it's different.
That is all right.
But I don't want to hinder you. Tomorrow. So, if you think it is best that I rest, then I'll have to go somewhere else.
I think that in this case, you are a free man, and you can make such decisions for yourself. And here you are saying that you don't have power.
It's awfully unusual to not be following orders. Thank you.
I'm not sure that I need to be thanked, but I suppose you're welcome.
Would you prefer I say I'm sorry? I jest.
So you do.
You're the only one who laughs at my jokes, so they're only tailored towards you at this point.
It's true. Though I would say I sometimes laugh at your jokes.
I mean, that's more than I've ever gotten before. So.
That's fair.
It's the little victories, Xander.
I hope you remember that you said this, because I will repeat it to you.
Yes, you do so enjoy doing stuff like that.
Yes, this is one of the few pleasures that I have.
Then I shan't take it away from you.
I suppose you shan't.
Let's go back together.